Hey, what's going on YouTube? James and Jay Kramer Fitness Protein Review Guy. Today we are going to go ahead and take a look at 1UP's Clear Protein. Now you'd be wondering, is this thing any good? Sure. If you define good as $58 for 73% protein density and a label that reads like a legal loophole seminar. The tub I have is the old formulation. It does state Clear Whey isolate on the front, but when you flip it over in the small profile, full transparency, it says concentrate. Yeah, you're staring at whey concentrate, dressed up in an isolate costume. Full whey transparency, my ass. Now, the site says it's 100% isolate, but we're supposed to trust a brand that got caught selling protein with illegal levels of heavy metals without telling buyers. So is this thing any good? If you want an overpriced Amino Spike fruit water with nutrition label that belongs in the fiction aisle, this tub's for you. But if you're looking for a verified protein quality, this ain't it, chief. Now, you'd be wondering, is 1UP Protein's third-party tested? Sure, if the third party you mean is Chad from accounting eyeballing tubs on his lunch break. This brand loves to throw lab-tested, open formula, and guaranteed purity across the label like it's some kind of confetti cannon of credibility. Here's the problem. They never tell you what they are testing. Spoiler alert, it's not the amino acid profile. There is no COA. It's not even third-party verified. This is the supplement equivalent of your buddy testing his Tinder bio by asking his ex-girlfriend if it slaps. And that fancy NSF 455-2 certification they brag about, that just means the building is clean. Doesn't mean the protein inside isn't spiked harder than your fraternity jungle juice. Now, the container I have here does not have a Prop 65 warning. Direct from their website, we display a warning on only the orders that are shipped to California, regardless of what items are on the order. Because, you know, lead and cadmium, they check your zip code before deciding if they're toxic. Hey, that's fine. The warning is on gas stations, hotels, airports. So clearly this is just another casual thing to overlook on your protein powder. Am I right? Nothing says premium quality like a health warning that only applies if you live on the West Coast. Big question here, is this protein amino spike? Let's put it this way. This label claims 2.461 grams of leucine per scoop. That's more than AG and Roots, but guess what's missing? Third-party testing, COA, sourcing disclosure, basically reality. Now, maybe 1UP has discovered a magical whey cow, or maybe they're stuffing free-form amino acids under the natural artificial flavored label like a clearance bin at the dollar store. Here's the real plot twist. We have the old formula, as I shared at the beginning of this review. It was concentrate. Then after magically throwing on a Prop 65 warning, it suddenly becomes an isolate. What exactly does the same 20 grams of protein per scoop? The numbers jumped, but the protein density didn't. That's not innovation, that's window dressing. Now you'd be wondering, was there a 1UP nutrition litigation? Oh yeah, but not for amino spiking. So let's be real. In 2018, they got hit with a Prop 65 violation for selling products with lead and cadmium without telling anyone. You know, minor details, just a little toxic heavy metals, casually chilling in your protein shake. Nothing to see here, folks, because if lead's not on the ingredient list, it doesn't count. Am I right? It wasn't until they got legally cornered and they reformulated the Clear Whey, out went the concentrate, in came the isolate. But the Prop 65 print stayed buried like a dirty little secret. So, no, they weren't sued for protein fraud, just for trying to sneak heavy metals into your shaker cup. Much better. All right, let's play a little game here, a protein lineup. We've got 1UP Clear Whey isolate here, king of label cosplay, and today it's stepping into the ring with 3 other clear proteins. Quick lineup check, MyProtein Clear Whey, Informed Protein Verified, Oath Clear Whey, no amino data, all branding, and Muscletech ISO Whey Clear. Tastes good, no receipts. Well, in this thing here, Clear Whey's biggest hype, least proof. Let's go ahead and stack Clear Whey, 1UP's Clear Whey against MyProtein's Whey Isolate. This won't last long. 1UP's reformulation claims 2.461 grams of leucine per scoop. MyProtein, they don't even give you a number because they actually send their product to Informed Protein. However, that's still questionable. You know the real third-party testing, but they refuse to share an amino acid profile. 1UP is $58 per tub. MyProtein, half the price, 28 bucks. Same 20 grams of protein per scoop. Protein density, MyProtein averages 80% verified isolate without an amino acid profile. One Up, you're lucky to hit that 73%. But hey, that full transparency slogan looks cute on the label. Same calories, same macros, except one is actually verified and doesn't cost a small mortgage payment per serving. Guess which one's trying to impress you with sketchy amino numbers? Now let's go ahead and take a look at One Up versus Old Clear Whey. This isn't a protein comparison, it's a cosplay contest. To the left, we have One Up Clear Whey, 2.461 of leucine. Old Flex is at 2.7 grams, both less 20 grams of protein. Both have you believe their fruit gym water is clinically grade recovery fuel. Spoiler, neither brand can show you third-party tests. Old loves to posture as clinical grade whey protein, no CUA, no foreign protein cert, just amino numbers that conveniently sit higher than industry leaders. Kind of like this one right here, but with a white lab coat. One Up is just louder about their amino cosplay, tries to whisper science backed while using the same amino spiking loophole under natural flavors. Both charges $2.05 per serving, One Up $2.32. Both are overpriced, both padded. Neither deserve a spot in your post-workout routine. All right, One Up Clear Whey versus Muscletech ISO Whey Clear. This is basically a contest to see who can label dodge harder. You already know the routine with One Up. Muscletech here, they said, trust us, but kept all the information that's important for us gym bros proprietary. No amino acid breakdown, just macros and a wink. 20 grams of protein per serving. Muscletech, 22 grams. Both rocking 0 carbs, 0 fibers, 0 sugars, but one charges $2.32 per scoop and hides behind lab tested. The other, $2.05, hides behind flavor marketing. Muscletech will give you the best flavor, no questions about that. The amino verification, don't hold your breath. Their label plays the same loophole games as One Up, just without the transparency cosplay. So who wins? Honestly, no one here. Both are selling you fruity gym water with a protein sticker. One just tastes better while the other is just lying to you. For the record, Muscletech ISO Whey Clear slaps. You made it this far in the review. Let's go over the pros and cons. Even the worst proteins can take a few highlights. So here's what makes One Up Clear Whey great, I guess. Pro number one, blue raspberry ice flavor is serviceable. When we get to it, it's sweet, in my opinion, very sweet. More candy than citrus. If you're into sugar-forwarded drinks, this thing will do the job. Just don't expect a real Italian ice hit. Number two, low lactose. Easy on digestion. You won't get that whey bloat. If you're lactose sensitive, this one's safe for your gut. And finally, number three, label design. Chef's kiss for Instagram Reels. It looks premium on a shelf, and it'll flex hard if in your TikTok shaker poured videos. However, the formula doesn't matter. It's about aesthetics. Am I right, bro? Now, here's what you'll regret buying. Numero uno, $58 for 73% protein density. That's not isolate, that's overpriced Kool-Aid with macro. Con number two, as I've repeatedly shared, no third-party testing. It's probably Chad sitting behind an office desk to his Keurig to his right, slamming down coffees from Starbucks. And then finally, number three, this thing has a Prop 65 heavy metals warning. However, my container does not offer that Prop 65 warning. It is buried on their website at oneup.com. So while you're sipping that fruity post-workout drink, you might be eating a bonus serving of lead. Yum. All right, let's go ahead and get into the Amazon reviews. Well, good luck. Their brand doesn't even sell there. It's funny. When a brand screams full transparency but avoids third-party platforms like Amazon, that's not transparency. That's controlling the narrative. Now, you may be wondering if this thing is going to be a good post-workout recovery. Short answer, no. One serving gives you 2.461 grams of leucine. Sounds close, right? But you need 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine to trigger muscle protein synthesis. When the formula is padded, there's no third-party testing, and you're basically trusting a label with the accuracy of a drunk text from your ex. So yeah, on paper, one scoop almost gets you there. But in reality, you're probably 5 grams of glycine deep, wondering why your recovery feels like participation trophy. Now, if you want to hit the actual anabolic threshold, you're looking at 2 scoops minimum, and that's $4.64 per workout. You're better off just going down to the store and get yourself some high-protein skim milk for that price. All right, with that, Share, let's go ahead and get into the assembling. It smells delicious. So here we go. 1, Blueberries, boy, scoop going in. Lock her up. Shake. Now, as you can see with all these clear whey isolates that I've reviewed so far, they become super foamy, super frothy. The food grade additive, which is an anti-foaming agent, I just want to clarify what it is. Well, it doesn't list it on here. So the newer reformulation does have an anti-foaming agent in there. We are going to go ahead and take a review taste test on 1UP Nutrition's old formulation of blue raspberry. Cheers. Now, I'm doing this as a post-workout. I did a 5-mile fasted run. And this thing, you know, if you have a heavy sweet tooth, it can be very serviceable. I do get the same hint of a blueberry, and then it is quickly short-lived, and then it just becomes flat and then overly sweet. I mean, if you're someone who's got a heavy sweet tooth and you're looking to keep on your dietary choices, or it's extremely hot out, I think this could be a very good tasting clear whey, only if you want something overly sweet. However, post-workout, for me, this hits, but for casual sippers, it might be a little too much for you. So I think it's serviceable. Would I buy this again based on flavor? It's very possible. So, all right, so we're near the end of the review. So who should buy 1UP Clear Whey? Simple. If you want a sweet tasting gym water that photographs well for your TikTok shaker pours, this sub's for you. If you care about actual protein quality, you got better options. Does it do what it is advertised? No. The claims of a 20 grams of isolate, but delivers 73% density, it screams lab tested, but can't show you a single third-party COA. The full whey transparency, that's just a slogan that they print in bold font while quietly burying their Prop 65 warning in a website footer. Now let's roll call the competition. MyProtein Clear Whey Isolate is Informed Protein certified, lower price, third-party verified. That they don't brag about the amino acids because they're already past the test or have been verified for quality, but they won't share that information. Now, taking a look at Clear Whey, they cosplay as a clinical grade, but at least they're not inflating amino numbers to Asian root level without proof. Still spike, probably far less obnoxious, but then again, you have this. Muscletech ISO Clear Whey, in my opinion, is the king of flavor. Label games are still in play, but they're not pretending to be a transparency hero. It is cheaper, tastes better, still no COA, but they're not lying about it. Now, getting back to this thing. 1UP Clear Whey is sitting at $58 per tub with padded amino numbers, zero third-party testing, and a history of hiding lead warnings. They've got a premium price tag, but the formula is still all label cosplay. Final score, 10 out of 50. That's 20%. Fails to deliver. You're paying for isolate prices for amino spike fruit water. If you're serious about recovery, performance, or ingredient integrity, 1UP Clear Whey shouldn't be anywhere near your short list. Now, before wrapping this up, I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on 1UP Nutrition's transformation challenge? Is it a legit motivation or just another marketing funnel to sell you overpriced protein and detox bundles? Drop your thoughts and comments downstairs. Now, if you want the full breakdown, the deep dive into 1UP Clear Whey's label claims, their Prop 65 history, how they're able to dodge FDA loopholes, their CGMP facility, and how it stacks up against MyProtein, Oath, Muscletech, and Asian Roots in detail, check out the full written review at jkramerfitness.com. Now, finally, thanks for sticking around for another review, and you know the drill, make it a great day.